now we're recording on OBS. Looks like everything's set. So welcome in, Daniel and Mohammed. Good to have you on board. We're going to get started. Here's our get ready for today stuff. Welcome in all the rest of you here in class. And we're gonna continue on with working in topographies, but now we're really gonna focus on Revit. Okay, so there are two folders for you to be looking at. I'll go over things. I'm going to do a demonstration first for the first half hour or so, and then we'll do a step-by-step where I'm writing it on the board and doing it, and I'll go around and help. For many of you, you'll get done with today's work in half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour because you're going to do one part of it. I can suggest that doing something once is not sufficient to be really good at it. And so you can do the other ones too. However, the one you're going to turn in is the portion of this job that's assigned to you. So what do I mean by that? In Revit in particular, and in most kind of larger jobs, there are many people involved. And often there will be a civil, an architectural, mechanical plumbing, mechanical HVAC, and electrical. There's all these models that somehow have to come together into what they call one source of truth. Sort of like the one ring to rule them all, right? There's one model. But everybody owns their own part of the model. That's the trick. So how do you get them together? They're by linking them. Okay? You tie them together. You link them together. And that's not always easy. So we're going to do sort of a preliminary, easy version of that, where each of you does one part of a job. Now you're all going to do civil grading, right? Getting building pad flat, making sure that you have certain slopes, certain elevations, certain cut and fill, and you'll each do a small portion of that and upload your portion. I will then tie them together so that you have a total one that you with for what happens next week. Next week, we do the part where we say, remember, one of our goals is to integrate our models into a larger project. That happens next week. You'll make some documents based on the linked together model. Okay? So that's how it's going to go together. All right? So here we go. Let's see where we're at. There are two folders. One folder has a bunch of files in it. The other folder is where you're going to put your assigned work. After your assigned work is in there, you can practice on the other ones. Right? So what are we going to do? Here's where we're at. Let me get this big enough so that you can see. We're here on week 7. We're going to do activity 3 today and activity 4. You actually have both days this week, today and on Thursday, to do it. But we're going to give you time to figure out and figure some problems. Now, I think I'm going to show you a different way than I've got in my description. Yeah. Is it not shared right? This one? Oh, there's no link there. Ha, thank you. I'll get that one. Student, here's the student files. I just forgot to put the link on it. Thank you for letting me know about that. You'll probably have to refresh it to make that work. Okay. Uh, both of these done today fairly easily, number 3 and number 4. And, but that'll be okay. Some of you have some work to catch up on. Always go back and do more work. Practice makes better. Doing something once or twice sort of goes, okay, I kind of got it a little bit. But doing it often enough so that you're good at it is the sign of a good designer. So you'll want to do a little bit more work on it. So today, this gives you a little bit of a chance. And then next week, you're going to be creating your plans. Okay. So here we go. Here's these 2 areas. Let's look at this really quick. Here are your start files. And I'm going to just do a demo now. Okay. Here are the lot assignments. See, here are all your set of lots to work on. And I'm going to show you the entire lots 5. And let's see what that thing looks like. That's okay. Sort of what it looks like, right? Okay, and you each are going to have one of these little lots to work on. Okay, and this is what adds on. And let's take a look and see where they are. Unit lot plan. One, two, three, and 4 look like that. And a building pad on it. Or if you're given 6, 7, and 8, you'll do these ones. 6, 7, you're each given, and they'll all come together in the end as this. Okay? And you'll all have done your own work. Now, the goal of this is if you look at what these are like right now in the 3D view, none of these are flat. There's no place to actually build anything. There's no flat surface. So you're going to have to create a flat surface that's grade it, put on a building pad. We're just going to use a floor slab as our building pad. And then amazingly, you're going to get the net cut and fill as close to 0 as you can. Okay, so not only are you going to make it flat, but you're going to make it flat at an elevation so that just a bulldozer on site can do it. You don't have to load a bunch of dirt into a truck and send it somewhere, and you don't have to bring a truck full of dirt in. So if you had Design 300, you kind of recognize this, right? Cut and fill is what you do to grade it even, and you want as little dirt or gravel brought in or out. Yes, Jacob. construction vehicles can move very easily from, let's say, the road to the site? No, not necessarily that. And you'll see, but that was a good question. So what do I mean by that? I'm gonna draw on the board so that you can see it. Let me hook the board up really quick so that you can see. So that was a great question. So if we have a topography, and I'm going to do like a section view of it right now, okay? So here's a section view of my topography. And I'm not very good at doing the earth symbol, so I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to take time to do the earth symbol for my cut and fill. And let's say this is at an elevation of 8 feet, and this is at an elevation of 12 feet. Well, if I'm going to put a building on it, my building has to be on a flat surface. So I'm going to make a flat surface, and I'm going to make it like this. And I'm going to cut away all this part. So this is all cut away. It's cut. Well, where am I going to put that dirt? I'm going to load it into a truck, take it to the fill area of the dump. So that's expensive. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather maybe make it so that my building pad, let's see if I've got, I don't know if these colors will show up, comes up a little bit, over a little bit, and cuts there so that this area equals, or volume, equals that. Now what will I do? I'll take a bulldozer and I'll move this cut to do that fill. So I'm keeping all the dirt on site. Now I realize I've got a little bump right here, right? So that's going to be your trick when you're modeling. Where do I put this thing and how do I do it so that my cut and fill are kind of normal, and maybe my fill actually looks kind of like that, so I have to cut a little more. It's not easy. Actually, it's very easy in Revit. Pretty, and I'll show you why. What can be a very hard task, because just figure this out. Okay, let's see. So that means I really have to cut it here and move it over here and cut a little more here because I have to add for this. It's like, it's hard. You got many parts to be thinking about. Okay, so we're going to do it in a fashion that will give you some control over it, and you're going to use what's called the Newton-Raphson method, otherwise known as, somebody tell me, guessing by golly. So Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, our gravity guy, and a guy named Sir somebody Raphson developed a mathematical process of guessing that gets you to the answer as quickly as possible for everything up to a fourth degree equation with, something to the fourth degree plus something to the third degree plus something squared plus something. They figured out that you could do a guessing system that would get you to the answer super fast. So guessing by golly. No, I'm not as smart as Sir Isaac Newton. It's an iterative process. Right. It works, but it's complicated. Right. You want to see it. Right. And ours is simple enough because we only have plus and minus. We don't have squares and cubes and quadratics and blah, blah, blah. You're going to be able to guess pretty quickly. And I'm giving you what's called a tolerance zone. This is okay if the answer is between this and this. And I'm giving you a pretty broad tolerance zone that's going to be pretty easy to get. Okay, but it's a realistic one. It's a realistic one. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. That's the goal of what we're going to do. We're going to figure out how to grade this surface so we have a flat area such that the cut is pretty close equal to the fill. Not exactly, but close enough. That's our goal of this. And they call that optimizing net, cut, and fill. And it is a big deal on any development job. Okay? And you're not going to do it for the entire thing. You're going to do it for 4 lots. And you get those lots from this file. You'll find your name, and it tells you which lots to get. So let's see where you get those. Here, if you're doing lots 1 through 4, you would download and open this file. Make that a little bit bigger. 6 through 9, you would do this one. 10 through 13 or 15 through 18. I'm doing 5 and 14. No, good question. The question is, some people on this list have the same number. So, for instance, Rishi, Joe, Kevin, and Fabian all have 1 through 4. You're going to do your own 1 through 4. Okay, and when you're done, you'll put it in there, and I'll show you how we're going to link and combine those eventually. So you'll always use your own plus somebody's. Okay, so there we go. That was a great question. So you'll only do the one of yours, and you'll do all of your own. Great question. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to show you how to do lots 5 through 5 and 14, and I'm going to do a demonstration. Then I'm going to write on the board the steps that I took, and I'm going to go around and help you as you go. So your job right now, you can't even click along with me because you're not even doing mine. I'm doing mine. And guess what? Mine only has 2 lots, and yours has 4 lots. So I know, but that's what bosses do. And then guess what? When it's all done, I'm going to get credit for all the work because it's my linked file that used all your work. And when I turn it into my boss, it's going to have my name on it. Ha! If I was a good boss, I would say who did each one, right? So bosses are funny that way. Sometimes, they get credit for all the work that got syncretized into the one. Okay, so I'm just going to get going and do one. So I need to go and do 514. Here it is right here. So I can download that. Download. And since this one is mine, I'm going to now load that into the student folder. I've already got one in there, but I'm going to do another one. rename so now it's in this group folder, but I know that it's mine. Nobody else better start working on mine, right? You only work on your own. Now in Revit, I can go open that. So I'm going to close this one up. And I'm going to go open model. And I got to go find it. It's in the Google Drive. This might be interesting. You might have to do your work on yours before you load it up. Put it in your own. I'm going to change that. I'm going to put that in my own civil topographies. I'm going to go to my own demo one. I'm going to put it in there so I can get to it. Asked you to do any work yet? Cool. There's no reason to do any work. So what was that step one? Download. Put in your own drive. So that was step one. Now when we open it, you'll be able to get to it. So open. Here we go. And I know this is really hard to see, but I'm just going to find it right now in my drive. And in my coursework in Design 328 Spring, and I could have put it in civil topographies. See if that's where I put it. 328 demo. There it is. That's the one I'm going to open up. So 2, open in Revit. And review it. Let's take a look and see what's in here. So I see mine has 2 topographies in it. That's in my site plan view. And I also have a 3D view. Oh, look, there's 2 pieces of it. Somebody tell me what it means if it's a brown color. Dirt. It also means that it's new construction. What color would it be if it was existing? Almost. It would be orange if it was demolished. But just starting out as as existing, it's gray. So this is new construction, and I can tell if I click on one of them, it tells me down here it's new construction. Okay, so I'm just knowing that about it. So I'm going to go back to my site plan, and there's stuff on this site plan that is good, but I don't want to be working with it. So I need to make myself a new view so I can hide that stuff. So I'm going to say, then I'm going to make a new view. And it's going to be called whatever your lot numbers. Remember how to do that? Have this open. I'm going to right click. So I right clicked on site. I come down until I get duplicate view. And I'm going to duplicate it with detailing because there's some stuff I may want to keep. And there it is. And to rename it, it's right click, rename. And this is lots 5 and 14. Now I really don't need these property labels. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to hide in view. What do I pick here? Tell me. Category, because I want to hide all of those labels. So I'm going to just say hide in view. Stuff. It doesn't hurt if you leave them on. It just starts looking a little messy. It's perfectly fine to leave them on, but I'm going to hide that category. And then all the rest of this, at least for right now, seems okay to me. But I'm going to move this one a little bit out of the way. And I'm going to move this one a little bit out of the way. Now, some of you have done this before, so I'll see if anybody can answer the question. A few of you have done this before. Most of you have not. I want to grade this in such a way that it counts how much I cut and how much I fill. How does that work? How does it work? Because if I just start modifying this, it doesn't count what I've modified. Anybody know? It's called, so you have to go, it's the existing minus new. So I have to have a new version and an existing version so that when I start working on one, it can count the difference. That's essentially what's going to happen. So I don't have an existing one yet. So I have to turn these into existing, and then I have to create a new duplicate. Change, create. And I'm going to show these on the board later. Okay, those of you in class, you're getting it now. I'm writing it down as I'm talking about it so that we can show it a little bit later. So I have to create these. When I click on it, it says it's new. I need to change that to existing. How would I do that? It's telling me right there. So probably if I click on it, tiny, tiny little arrow comes up. click on that little arrow and I pick existing. And then I go up and I rename this existing. Let's take a look. Yep, this one's brown. This one's gray. I know that that one is existing because it's gray. So I have to do the same thing for this one now. And I'm going to switch back out of that view. So I'm going to select it, left click, go to that tiny little arrow again, change it to existing, and go up and rename this one. Why do I need to rename it? Because I'm going to make another lot 5 that's new, and I won't be able to tell them apart otherwise, at least at first. Let's see if they both look gray now. They're both gray. So I just did existing. Now I need to create the new. Create new. That's in massing and sites. So I'm gonna go to the massing and sites tool. You guys remember where that is? Way up here. And way over on the right. They call it a graded region. They call it a graded region. So I'm going to click the graded region tool, and there's 2 ways I can do it. I can duplicate one, or I can create a new one. I want to duplicate it. Create a new topography exactly like the old one. Click. And now it says it's new construction, so I have to change the name. And just click escape when it's done. So that's red because it's showing that I just demolished my old one and I have a new one, but they're taking up the exact same space, so the red shows up. I'm going to show you how to fix that in a minute too. But let me do that on the next one now. Create a graded region. Duplicate the topography. Create a new topography. Go click which one you want to create. That one, it now made a new construction, and I'm going to call it new. And hit escape. Now the problem is when I try to click on one of these, I'm not positive which one I'm getting because I don't see it anymore. I know I just got it because it says new, but I don't see it. It's like, it's not brown. For those of you who have done it, how do I make this show only my new? There's a way to do the hide. I could hide the new ones, hide in view, or I could do something called a phase filter. Remember, phase tells you when. So this drawing is new construction, this view, but it's showing everything. So what I want to do is change that show all, click, find the little arrow to show new. Sorry, I got stuck in there. And now all you see is my new stuff. And it's easier to click on it. So I just told this view right here to show only new stuff, new construction. They're still there in the model. How do I know? If I go to 3D views, I'm probably getting a show all. And if I were to hide that one just momentarily, see, my old one's still there. So this one is still showing both. I'm showing both. In my one that I'm going to work in, I'm only showing my new construction. It's just to make life easier. Okay? So remember, Revit can not only show you what is there, but when. Shows you what and when. That's kind of a new idea, right? It's like, wow. It's kind of cool. But now I can work on this. I can work on it. So now I need to plan. I'm going to 7 draw where the floor slabs will go. And they're each 44 foot by 44 foot. Whoever has developed this has already confirmed that if you make a floor slab that big, the planning department can accept it. It's sort of like the biggest one that can be put on here. And that's because there's all sorts of rules and regulations about how much area you can cover up in a building in certain residential areas. You want to learn about that? Design 352 in the fall. That's what we do. We take a development, we get right into the nitty-gritty of it and make sure that it will work. Okay, so 44 foot by 44 foot. Well, I need to visualize that, so I'm going to draw a region. Annotate, region, and I'm just going to make a rectangle. And you just make it any size you want. Click, and then you go fix the numbers. 44 foot, enter. 44 foot, enter. And let's make it, instead of solid yellow, let's just make it a diagonal crosshatch. Always remember that green check mark. And of course, it's not in the right place, and it's not at a very good angle. So I moved it down so a corner is touching, and I'm going to rotate it. And you guys all pretty much know the rotate tool. And I'm just going to put it somewhere in there, and I need to double check. Does it have at least 4 foot to the edges? That one's got almost 6 feet. Okay, that looks okay. Yeah, I use the arrow keys because I didn't need a precise place. So yes, I was using the arrow keys to move it. So there's all sorts of ways I can do this. I'm just, You can make another one, but I'm just going to copy it. Yeah, it's actually just like SketchUp. To do the rotate tool, center your protractor, line it up, tell it the angle. It's exactly like SketchUp, which is really cool. Okay. So I've got two of those. Now I got to kind of find the highest point. I'm going to tell you that the easiest way to do this is to make a level surface starting at kind of the highest point. So I'm going to make a graded region. Sort of at the highest point. And then I'm going to slowly move those points down. That would be like making a graded region that was all fill. And then I'll slowly move those points down until it gets to 0. So I'm going to make a 7, 8. I'm going to modify topo starting at highest. So that means I need to know where the highest point is. This, it's not right now. I'm gonna show it when I'm done. I just can't walk back and forth all the time. That's what's showing. Okay, so I'm gonna annotate spot elevation. 11 foot, I could use 11 foot 5. That's close enough. Or 11 foot 5 or 11 foot 6, right? Because it's 11 foot 5 and something. Well, I know how to do that. Now watch. Right now, if I click on my region, it tells me there is no cut and no fill. But as I start modifying it, it's going to calculate. That's why I needed the new construction built on top of the existing. So the existing is 0. If I add dirt, I get fill. If I cut dirt, I get cut. If I do a little bit of both, it's going to add and subtract them. Okay, so I need to click, add points, absolute elevation. What did I say? 11 foot dash 5 inches. Here's how I write it. 11 foot dash 5 inches. And I'm just going to add those points all along here. I'm just going right along the edge of my region. And my region is only there so I have something to look at. It's the only reason I put that region there, so I could visualize it. Doesn't matter how many points, you have to have enough. And then click outside. Hit escape outside. I could, if I want now, eliminate that region, but I don't really care to. Let me click on the topo solid. I've got 4,499 of fill and 5 of cut. I think I've done a little too much fill. But look, it even changed all this. It sloped it up. Yeah. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Yep. Mm-hmm. And look, it's sloped up to it. It doesn't want to make jagged, sharp changes if it can help it. So that's why there's a ton of fill. Not only did I fill all of this, but remember over here I was saying it might even need more. I got a ton of fill. So how would I change that? Yeah, I would lower. So watch how I can do that. I click modify sub elements right there. And all the points show up around it. So I'm going to click on one of those, and then I'm going to highlight them all, and I'm going to change it. Somebody give me a guess. I need to get rid of a bunch. What will I change it to? Well, 12 is going up, so that would add more. 11. I'll try 11. This is why it's Newton-Raphson method. Now, in Design 310, I actually teach you that method. We use a spreadsheet and a trend line to show where your guesses are going so that you can see it. So if you take Design 310, you'll learn the basics of the Newton-Raphson. We're not going to do that. This one's easy enough that we can guess. Okay, I'm going to change those to 11. And what did I have before? 4,000, 4,500-ish. 4,000, I think 449. Mr. Schuster, what is CF? Oh, great question. Somebody answer? Cubic feet. Oh, I didn't know what it represented. I know. It's kind of unclear. Yeah. CF is how they do it. What would square feet be listed as? SF. SF. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Okay, so now I'm going to make it 11 feet. That was the selection. And I have to hit escape, click on it, and well, I got rid of about 1,500 of it. I'm shooting for, I'm going to say 9. Repeat. I'm not sure this will show up until less than 250. Plus or minus. The net. Uh-huh. Okay. Modify sub elements. Here I go. Instead of 11, Jake, what would your next guess be? So that got rid of about a quarter of it. 15, you said. Huh? It was 1115 or 15. It was 4,450, and now it's around 3,000. Based on what? It went from 11.5 to 11. 11. Okay, so so what was it? So 450. What was it before? And now, so that was at 11 foot 6 inches, and now it's about I'm going to say it's about 3,000. It's not exactly at 11 feet. You're doing a good ratio, huh? So
I would say probably about
so a half an inch dropped 1,500.
okay, so I'm willing to possibly guess that it would be about 10.6.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try 10.5 feet, 10 feet 6 inches. Let's just see what happens. Pretty close. We're getting there.
Yep.
Hard to tell because all this stuff in front and behind changes. So 10 feet, what, 4,000, 1,400.
Mr. Schuster, can you put CF there?
Yeah.
To make it more clear.
Was at 10.5 feet. Yeah.
I'll go. I would, based on Michael's assumption, I would say probably let's try 10. Let's try 10 feet.
And whoa, minus 301. Awfully close, but I'm shooting for 250. So minus, yes, minus 300. What did we say that was? 10? So it's going to be somewhere between these, but closer to this, right?
It went down 1,700 cubic feet.
Yeah. So I'll go like, we don't have to get that much more. I'm going to go up an inch. Like
How
not much.
about a quarter? How about 10 and a quarter?
Let's give it a try. Let's give that one a try. Click, modify, highlight all those things. 10.25 feet. Oh, overshot it a little bit.
Darn.
So I'll just go back. I'll go halfway in between those. Right? I'll go halfway in between those. So here we go. Modify. Whoop, I don't want that one. I'm being a little sloppy here. Sorry about that. So 10.15 feet. Click. Okay, the big reveal. 121. Woo! 10.125 plus 121 feet. That's my elevation. Now let's take a look at the section view just so we can see it. There we go. And let me look and see. I think I asked to put a building pad on it. So this is at, let me go ahead and annotate, spot elevation. So, and you can do a structural or an architectural, but I'll do a structural one just for fun. Floor, structural, and they only have 12 inch. So you guys know how to make it 6 inches? Edit the type, duplicate, give it its name, 6 inches. Go to the struct and change this to 6 inches. Where's my apply? And remember, it's pick lines. Now, what elevation? It's got to be 6 inches higher than this. So it's got to be at 10 feet dash 7.5 inches. That's its elevation. Otherwise, it's going to be way down in the dirt. This is going to sit it right on top of that. Pick lines. Click, 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 click. Green, OK. Now let's see what it looks like in that section view. It's got it sitting right on top. Now, you don't need the section view. I did that just so that you can visualize. You may or may not wish to do that. Okay? But here we go. Now I'm going to switch over to this camera and just explain it. One more time. So you've seen it. You've seen it do its job. First step, download and put, you're right in front of the camera.
Oh, I'm so
There we go. Thank you. Cool. All right. So download and put it in your drive. Open it and rev it. Just review it. Make sure you know what you're doing in yours. Create a new view. Right click, duplicate. Give it a new name. Lot 1 through 4, lot 6 through 9, whatever yours is. Hide in the view the stuff you don't want to see. Then comes all the new stuff. Change each lot to existing. That's in the phase thing. And then go to massing and sites and do that region, graded region, and you have to do it for each individual one. Then change your phase filter to new. That way your existing ones are out of the way, they're in there, but you're, because if you accidentally click your existing, you're messed up from here on out. It's like, and it's one of the, you just can't recover from it. If you actually start modifying your existing, jump for the camera, instead of the new. Okay. Once you've got it, draw where the floor slabs go. That's a region. 40 foot by 44 foot by 44 foot. And then start modifying the topo solid, starting at the highest point, and then just slowly keep lowering it until you get to your target, plus or minus 250. If you overshoot, go back up. I can suggest that you keep a record somewhere. Okay, I'm going to flip over to the other board so people can see. I suggest that you keep a record as you're going in your sketchbook or in a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper that says sort of where you start and see what happens with each individual one, because it can really help, because you'll not remember. Well, maybe you will. I won't remember, that's for sure. Okay, there's the process. You do it for your 4 lots. Okay, when you're done, you'll put your Revit file in your folder and into that shared folder. Cool? Let me show that. Okay, so once it's done, I go find it in my Google Drive. So I'll go ahead and close it. I'll save it. Save. Woohoo! Of course, I only did one of them. I need to do the other ones. Save it. Here it is in mine. So I need to make a copy. Should have my initials on it. And you can either download it and upload it or whatever, but the shared folder is this one right here. So you need to get it from here, however you want to do it. I'll do it an easy way. I'll download it. And I don't want to see copy of. It's going to be almost impossible to work with. So you'll need to rename it. So it just says, starts with 328 Aries Estates. So that whatever the name it was, and this is where your initials go. Now I happen to have one finished right here. So I'm going to get rid of this one now. Don't want a bunch of 001s and 002s and stuff like that. Just this should get filled up eventually with each of yours. Okay? And you get all week to do it. We're not going to combine them until next week. Okay? There we go. So that is the demonstration from today. I'm going to turn off the recordings and I'm going to just let you guys start working. And I think probably best if I leave the list of how to do things up for the people that are online. Okay, but I'm going to pause the recordings now and just let you work.